I personally, if you have acne, I would leave that one off. Hey guys, what is up? So today I thought we would talk about product packaging. There's definitely, you know, certain things that I look for on product packaging when it comes to like ingredients, you know, the little symbols that are on the products, and they definitely indicate whether I'm going to spend my money on that product or not. Also, I want to share with you guys some tips, especially for skin types, you know, what kind of things to look out for. I have very more acne prone sensitive skin type, so I'll definitely, you know, share as much as like I know about, I guess, in that area. So let's start off with the little symbols that you might see on the packaging. Now the first one is that little jar where the lid is just slightly open. This symbol just means it's basically the expiry date of it once it's open. So once you've opened it, that's how long the product should last. So if it has, so for example, this has a 6 and an M, so that means 6 months. You might see the little vegan symbol, so that's quite an obvious one because it actually says vegan on it, so then you just know that product is suitable for if you're vegan. You've also got the Soil Association Organic. Now this is basically your organic certification, but what this also means is it's not just, you know, obviously the ingredients might be organic that they use, but also the sustainability throughout the whole process. So if you buy an organic product, you know that that product is, you know, been sustainable right from the beginning, so they go through the whole lot. So especially if you're into sustainability and trying to pick products which are obviously a bit kinder in the environment, having one with the Soil Association Organic, and even more, sometimes you might see it says Cosmos underneath, so Cosmos Natural is one you might see, but yeah, if it has Soil Association Organic or Cosmos, then you know that that's actually going to also be helping the environment as well. Sometimes you might see it's like a little triangle, and sometimes it has a number in it, or it's kind of like, yeah, this kind of like triangle signage. That is going towards like the recyclability of the product, especially if you've got things, for example, this which has plastic as a lid and glass as well. It will have a number because that tells you what kind of category of the recycling it's in. So when it comes to the ingredients, the first thing you want to know is that the ingredients are in order of how much is in the product. So the first ingredient is going to be the ingredient which is got the highest quantity in the product, and then it will go down from there. That's really handy to know, especially if there is a certain oil or like maybe silicones or something like that that you don't want, you know, to be putting too much in your skin. It's really handy to see where on that ingredients list it comes, because if it's like the first ingredient, then you know it's going to be way more prone to clogging your skin. So while we're talking about silicones, let's actually start off with that one. So when I'm looking at a product ingredients list, that's the first thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for basically anything that ends in cone. So you'll have things like dimethicone, trimethicone. So I'm looking actually at the Ebony and CCI here, and it has cyclomethicone, which is the second ingredient. Yep, again dimethicone. There is a lot of dimethicone in this. So immediately I'm like, okay, this product has got a lot of silicone in it. Now anything that ends in cone, and you know, with the silicone in general, is that is not the best ingredient with acne prone skin, because these dimethicones and trimethicones and everything can actually block the pore up, so that can, if you're not removing these products properly, it can actually cause a bit more of a blockage on the skin and cause a breakout. I do actually have a video, it's a little bit old now, but it's still really useful, on like pore clogging ingredients, not really good for acne. The next one I look for is talc, because again that will clog the skin as well. A lot of products sometimes have talc as like their first ingredient, especially if they are a makeup powder. Now an alternative to talc is, so if you're going for a natural product, they might use mica instead, but obviously try it, see how your skin is with it. Some people find that mica can actually be a bit aggravating to the skin, so if you have sensitive skin, then maybe, you know, just be wary of that and just check that it's not aggravating your skin, because apparently what I read is that mica, like to a microscopic level, actually has like really rough edges, and that can actually scratch the skin. That's what I heard anyway, and I think what I read, not heard. So after that I then look for the PEG numbers. So yeah, there'll be a different variety of these, but these ones I find as well I don't really like to put on my skin, especially for acne prone skin. I feel like they can be quite problematic. So again, this actually has PEG10 in it. But yeah, just have a little skim through, just look for those letters. You know, I don't know these long scientific names off by heart. I literally look for, I know what the ingredients end in. So for example, all the silicone kind of ingredients end in cone, like, you know, I just went through them. Same with you know, the PEGs, they might be all different numbers, but you're just looking for PEG. The next thing I would then scan for is alcohols. Now the thing with alcohols is that not all of them are necessarily bad. The majority, yes. So if it just says alcohol, then I would just be thinking stripping and drying my skin out. So I try and not go for the ones with alcohol in it, especially like toners and things that have them, like they usually are like right up the top of the elite ingredients list. But you will sometimes, so for example, this one has cetearyl alcohol, and I believe actually have cetyl alcohol in theirs as well. Sometimes when you see cetyl alcohol, is that can actually be derived from something like coconut, for example, or you know, it can be derived from something else where it's actually not as harsh as like just regular alcohol. If it is a natural product, then there's more of a chance that actually they're not using alcohol, it's just like, you know, more of a friendlier source. The next ingredient I would scan over is phenyloxyethanol. Now this ingredient, to be honest with you, I don't know too much about it, but all I do know is that it isn't good for the skin. You'll still sometimes find it in natural products as well. It's a very, very like popular ingredient, and you'll find it in everything. Like it will be in like shampoos, you know, hand washes, bars of soap, it'll be cleaning products. Like it's not even just in your skincare, so it's one just to kind of be aware of. I definitely do have it in some of my products. Like I'm not completely free from it, but I try and reduce it as much as I can. So the next thing I would then be scanning over is if the product is using oils and what type of oil it is. I think when it comes to oils, it's all about just kind of knowing your skin and which oils suit you best, and then now knowing that the ingredients list is in order of, you know, how much is in the product, you know, you can kind of make your judgment of where that oil sits. But typically I will stay away from especially coconut oil, not because I react to it, but literally for a reason that it can be very, very comedogenic for the skin. And also coconut oil, once it's on the skin, it's actually kind of hard to remove. I find it sticks really quite strong. So I personally, if you have acne, I would leave that one off. Another oil I'm a little bit wary of is rosehip. Now rosehip is very, very good for acne prone skin, but I think it depends on your skin as well as how often and how much you can use of it. So I think with ingredients like rosehip, they're nice to have like on their own, just like buy rosehip oil and then you can use it in your skincare routine when and you know how often you want to use it. Whereas when it's in a moisturizer, you're kind of stuck with it always being in the moisturizer, you're using it every day, and it might be a bit too much for your skin. Now next ingredient I want to talk about is salicylic acid. So if you are looking at like a not natural product, it probably will just list it as salicylic acid, but if you're looking at a natural product, then the natural ingredient name is willow bark. So if you ever see the word willow bark on your ingredients list, or salix, is it salix alba? Yeah, salix alba. Wow, I'm actually like pretty impressed I remembered that. Yeah, so salix alba as well, that's the, again, same name for like willow bark, salicylic acid. Usually things like glycolic acids and things like that will be listed as that ingredient, so you should be fine with seeing that. But I always just look for the acids and just see what's in it. Another thing though is that if you ever see hyaluronic acid, that it kind of sounds a bit more scary than it actually is. Hyaluronic acid isn't actually an acid, it's actually essentially just a very large sugar molecule. So yeah, that's not going to have any like the exfoliating effects that like salicylic, glycolic and all those kind of things have. So hyaluronic, you should be fine. That is literally purely for hydration reasons. That's a really nice ingredient. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, I've just seen it on this product, is that coconut can actually be masked as other names as well sometimes. And the one to look out for is, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but is Cocos nucifera. I'll pop it on the screen. Now another one to know about, especially if you're into like natural products, is knowing what tocopherol is. So tocopherol is actually just vitamin E. Like the reason why tocopherol is actually used is they use it as a preservative because it actually helps the product have more shelf life and it kind of keeps the product stable, so that's why they will use it. It should always be listed in brackets, but just so you know, ascorbic acid is just vitamin C. I always look out for waxes. Now I am not a fan of waxes in products, and I actually didn't even realise that this had wax in it. I haven't tried this product yet. But yeah, so waxes I find can be very clogging on the skin. Now it really does depend on the product and what kind of wax they're using. Like I'm not a fan of like the beeswaxes and stuff like that. Now when I was younger and my acne was really bad, I went to see a dermatologist and they actually gave me a moisturizer which I started using, and I never checked the ingredients back then, and my skin actually got a lot worse. And then when I looked at the ingredients, I think like the second ingredient, third ingredient was like some wax ingredient, and yeah, I'm pretty sure down to that, I feel like it was just really clogging my pores. And when I did research about it, that's kind of the stuff I was reading. I think as well, when you're looking at ingredients, think of like the consistency of that ingredient. So when I think of wax, I think of quite a, you know, stodgy, like thick substance, and I just think, do I want that on my skin? No. So yeah, think of the like consistency. Same goes with coconut oil. Like, you know, when you have coconut oil and it's like a liquid and then it goes hard when it obviously cools down, like I just think about that on my skin and I'm like, no thanks. Now the next thing I do look out for is zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. Now if it's a sunscreen, then that's why it's in there. It's probably for the actual sunscreen protection, but I always look for it in in products which aren't like SPFs, because sometimes they sneak their way in there and I'm like, oh, if it's not if it's not an SPF purpose, I don't want it in my skincare, because I find those ingredients, you know, they, like for example, when you think of a sunblock, like it is blocking you from the sun, it's quite a strong ingredient and they can be like comedogenic for the skin. It doesn't matter whether that sunscreen is for acne prone skin or not, if they're using those ingredients, like that is their property, like they are thick ingredients. So even if you're having a no makeup day and you're wearing sunscreen, you must double cleanse to make sure you're getting it out your like pores, because that's going to really help your skin be clear as well. And then I also think it's worth mentioning about essential oils when you're looking at your ingredients list as well. Now the thing with essential oils, especially for sensitive skin, they can be quite aggravating. You don't have to avoid them. Like I have essential oils in my products and they're absolutely fine, but I try and pick products which have them, like, you know, towards the end of the ingredients list. I don't want, you know, product ingredients which have essential oils as like the top kind of ingredients, like in the top half. I try and keep them to like the lower, like the last quarter of the ingredients list. And overall, I think as a rule of thumb, I think if you're looking at an ingredients list and majority of it you just cannot even understand or have no clue what it is, I then question to myself, is this something that I actually want to put on my skin? Not just about putting our, you know, products on to help with, you know, acne or whatever. Like our skin is actually absorbing this and it is going to be going into our body. Because the other thing as well, guys, that chemicals can be massive disruptors, especially to our hormones as well. So as women, they can, you know, affect our hormones levels as well. As consumers, our knowledge is so like powerful and so important, and I think the more knowledge we have when deciding on products is going to also pave the way for some of the, you know, products to come out in the future, hopefully. Anyway guys, I really hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up to let me know, and if you haven't already, make sure you smash the subscribe button, come join the family. Also guys, as you can see, I'm posting so many more videos now, and I would really love to hear your suggestions on videos you'd like to see, so please do leave me a comment down below. To my side right now, I'll pop another video if you want to go check out some more. Anyway, have a wonderful day guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.